niggas on it. They used to bait me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it, your homies on it. Y'all's the hater, and all of my moves, but now niggas on it. They used to debate me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it, your homies on it.
Damn, I'll kill them mosquitoes, right? Mm-hmm.
Like you, yeah. Like Dan over there.
Mosquito.
Good to go.
We good, brother? Yeah. What up? We back. Realest podcast ever, man. We on location. We up top. We in New York once again.
Manhattan on New York.
WTF Media Studios once again, man. Shout out to everybody. Here, all of the staff. They've been very amenable.
Shout out to my man. What's his name? Get his name. Say it again. Wolf. Is that his name? Shout out to Wolf, man.
Got the Eric Benet going on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Going on.
Holly Berry, you know what I mean?
We got a special guest, man. You hear a real distinctive voice, man. That Harlem swagger. Of course. You know what I mean? Shining like new money right now.
New money, old money, you know what I'm saying? Just money in general.
Yeah, today's guest, rapper, boxer, entrepreneur. He's a living manifestation of someone who was too smart for the industry because he was too enlightened, too aware to be taken advantage of. His May 2021 appearance on Math Hoffa is my expert opinion, sent shockwaves through the internet for his honest assessment of a dishonest music industry and janky and immoral business practices, and has amassed over 6 million views to date.
Oh, no, we got more. We got 400 million views on TikTok.
Oh, man. I was just saying YouTube. I'm underselling it.
The tube? Like,
On
YouTube, we got over 100 million views. Because a lot of people have been reposting it.
Gotcha.
They took that clip, right?
Yeah.
On Math Hoffa,
6 million.
It's about close to 7.
Okay.
On his channel, just on his channel.
Right.
You know what I mean? But so many people have reposted the content.
Yeah, that's amazing.
They're gonna repost this shit too.
For sure, it's a worldwide phenomenon. He's joining us today on his No Labels tour to talk about self-empowerment, business ethics, and monetization. And of course, we got to ask his opinion on what's going on with the culture, man. TRP Nation, let's give it up for Harlem's own Smart.
Man, very welcome.
Clap that up, man.
Welcome.
We were saying something real powerful before we started recording. You said that the devil works overtime, but God works all the time.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. So basically what that means is, life is not a sprint, it's a marathon, right? So when you're chasing your dreams, you have to work really, really hard. And you have to have, the mental toughness to sustain your work ethic, right? And when you're working honest and you're doing God's work, there's a lot of challenges.
Absolutely.
Right? So I'm saying the devil's gonna work overtime. When you work a job 9 to 5 and you work overtime, right? You still clock out at some point.
Yeah.
So the devil works overtime, but God works all the time. So you have to have faith, right? And when you have that faith, you understand that the finish line, the finish line doesn't move, right? But the closer you get to crossing the finish line is when you're met with the most obstacles and challenges, right? So I say all the time, when you feel overwhelmed, think about what you overcame.
Absolutely.
Right? So yeah, it's so important for our culture, our generation, and our people to understand that, right? Like, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Okay? The finish line does not move. Okay? There will be no moving of the goalpost, right? Like, when you set a goal, the finish line is your goal. Mm-hmm. When you set a goal, it doesn't go anywhere. It's like, okay, you're going to keep working and you're going to get there, but you got to be consistent. You got to be durable, and you have to push through, right? It was tremendously hard for me to get here.
Yeah.
I mean, tremendously, right? And, I'm like, nah, this is all part of the journey, right? And I'm like, nah, I'm going to make it. Caught a ticket, running red lights. I'm going to get here. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you guys for even allowing me to be here.
We appreciate you pulling up, man, despite, all the calamity and everything that happened off screen. Your commitment to honoring your commitment and showing up for us, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no, that's big.
And just to piggyback off that real quick, that's important too. Because a lot of people, they just say, oh, next time. No, you go through things, you be very apologetic, right? I got a big platform on Instagram, so I don't mind going live with you guys and promoting what you got going on, just for you guys obliging me. And it's just, sometimes you gotta definitely see it through, right? Because you get that no. And I was excited to meet you guys, right?
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I'm a big fan of your work.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
So it was like, I'm gonna push through.
Yeah.
And because I know, again, every no will eventually turn into a yes. And those obstacles are like no's, right? Like, so you gotta like push through. And me making it to this interview, was a testament to that.
No, that's real.
True indeed, man. We appreciate all the effort and all of the hurdles you jumped over to, still be able to pull up with us
Yeah,
and get this in
absolutely.
today. I think I kind of want to start kind of like talking about, your music career, and then we could kind of like steer it from there and just kind of end up where we end up. So what I want to know is, what age did you start rapping, and what attracted you to the art form?
Well, my grandmother, it started very early, around like 5 or 6 years old, and it wasn't rap, it was poetry.
Got it.
So my grandmother, she had got really sick. She caught pneumonia, and she was in a hospital. I thought I never was going to see her again. So I wrote a poem, and, I made sure that she got it, right? And when she got to the hospital and she got better, she said that my words helped her get better. So I thought like my words had power.
Yeah.
Even though my words do have power.
Oh, yeah.
It was like I was right about the thought, right?
Right.
And so I became kind of like, very, very happy and excited that, I finally found something, because at that age I had low self-esteem. Mother was a drug addict, was homeless, in and out of the system. And, even to this day, I still have abandonment issues, right? So
How old were you when this happened?
about 5 or 6.
Okay.
So, like the writing?
Right, writing the poem.
Yeah, like 5 or 6. You know what I mean? And so when my grandmother got to the hospital and she told me the poem, kind of like impacted her, I felt like, okay, let me keep this going.
Yeah.
My aunt, at the time, her friend was working for a book company, and the poem actually got published.
Okay.
So when I got the whole book, and I could turn to the page and I see my words in there,
Yeah.
it was like,
That took it to another level.
yeah. It just made me, it gave me another outlet for just some of my creative writing ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So
When did it kind of turn from poetry to actual rap or whatever?
being in a group home, like being in a group home, being in the shelter, because I was in Covenant House. So Covenant House is it's by Times Square, right? So we in the shelter for the mothers and stuff like that. So they early in the morning they kick everybody out. Nobody's going to school, right?
Right.
And
Everybody does wherever
running,
they
wherever.
no school bus comes up there, right? And
Yeah.
we're on Times Square early in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, and kids are just rapping and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
again, it gave me a form. It made me, like, hip hop and music made me feel like I was a part of something. It filled the void of not having a family, right? And so, very, very early, I just fell in love with writing, music, rapping, and yeah, so.
That's dope.
Let me ask you this. Did you have any influences coming from Harlem?
No, I mean the hustlers. You know what I'm saying? Like my life was my influences. Like I didn't have the luxury of sitting and consuming music. You know what I'm saying? Like no support from my mother. Sometimes I wish I would have came from a different pussy. C-section, even in birth, she didn't push me. My mama left me to the hallway. The closet was the babysitter. She locked me in it to go out and get high. Stood froze in that dark hole. Every night I cried, picking up a toy phone, trying to call for help. Because I ain't eating 2 weeks. Lack of food fucking with my health. Covenant House, that's 7. Alone in a shelter. Stealing food from supermarkets because the system never helped us. You know what I'm saying? So my life was like the inspiration.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like music.
I wish I did just haul off and spit something. Like I wish I wish I had a 6D to match that, but I got nothing. Like, that was cool as shit. Like,
but it's like that was like, like my music is autobiographical, just melodic, right? And every song is almost like a page out of my personal life or my personal experiences.
Yeah.
So like my life, what I was going through became like the inspiration for the music, and it's still to this day.
Yeah. I got a question that I think is going to kind of steer the rest of this conversation. A constant conversation we've been having around the show right now is about like Black culture in a social media driven world. What do you think about like the present state of Black culture and a lot of this real blatant programming that's going on through all these different mediums?
Okay, well, again, so you got to understand this, right? They use crack to break down the hood in the 80s, right? So music is now digitized crack.
Right.
Okay? So when you look at, companies like Vivendi, Viacom, they run, the music industry. And these are Jewish people, these are French people, okay? And their job is to protect the interests of their people. White supremacist groups are also a part of this entertainment business. So they're creating this self-destructive mentality that lives through the content that is projected and solicited and sold to our people, in mass production, right? So that's what's happening. Now, we have an opportunity because we're Generation Reparation. We are Generation Reparation. We're not waiting for help. We are the help, right? We're in the times of David and Goliath. But the technology is the slingshot, okay? We're in the times of David and Goliath. The technology is the slingshot, but the rock inside the slingshot is collaboration. The collaboration has to be peer-to-peer, right? The collaboration has to be horizontal, not vertical. That's why when I walked in, I asked the guy, like, yo, hey, look, man, like, your Wolf, that's your name, right? Wolf, could you tell the buddy come in with the army fatigue? What's his name? Yeah, tell him come in, for sure. Because that's what it's about, right? It's about peer-to-peer. So, again, we have an opportunity to change the paradigm. We have an opportunity to change what hip-hop is today.
Right.
But it's through that collaboration. And we have to stop being like this and start being like this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? A content creator represents the finger. A platform represents the fist. Okay?
Indeed.
Content creators are fingers. Platform is a fist. So if the content creators are like this, it's easy to break the finger.
Man,
right?
Don't get us started with that.
It's easy to break the finger. But once it becomes a fist, and the fist is in the form of a platform, then now we can actually strike and fight back and be offensive and not just defensive.
Yeah.
I think that goes all across the board though. We're just like that in general, not just in like content creating, but just everything. We just have a natural, we talk about that a lot. We don't fuck with each other. We don't trust. That's what we was giving you a shout out for just you like, yo, look, y'all can go ahead, rock out there, because it's like somebody else would have been like, man,
my time is my time. Get the fuck out of here, nigga.
Yeah, like so that that's dope. That's dope because we don't do that with each other. So that's real.
But we don't do that because we're conditioned.
That's why
we have to know what classical conditioning is. We have to understand what operant conditioning is. We have to understand what Pavlov's theory is. We have to understand what the Willie Lynch letter was, right? And what represents the evolution of the Willie Lynch letter? What strategies are being used to condition us today? Okay, it's self-hate, because self-hate maintains the status quo, okay, here in America. Now, it takes a lot. That's why interviews like this is important, putting that content out there.
Yeah.
We teaching our people that, listen, we got to work together, okay? We don't own this building. This is a rental fucking space, right? So now if you work together, his audience becomes your audience, right? Now, let me backtrack. You can't do, change happens with mentality. How you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. How you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. So when we understand how to change our mentality, right? When we understand how to change our mentality, we change our world. Secondly, what is the thing that gives you the ability? I'm not talking some bullshit. I'm talking real shit. Now, the scientific aspect of this, because we have to study neuroscience. Our brains produce neuromelanin. That is what attracts us. That's what attracts things to you. That's our tangible alchemy. Okay? Now, that's our tangible alchemy. It's a book called The Alchemist by Pablo Coelho, right?
Yeah.
The neuromelanin inside the brain of the black man is our tangible alchemy tools, and we use those tools to cultivate and build a world that we can live in our own utopia. But it starts with collaboration. We are in times of David and Goliath. Technology is a slingshot, but the rock inside the slingshot is collaboration. But you got to be mindful, because there are Davids who put paper mache rocks inside the slingshot. There are Davids that put water balloons inside the slingshot. There are Davids that put confetti, inside the slingshot and make it, and you think it's a rock, and you go to war. You can't kill no Goliath,
because they want to protect the status quo,
because they're not knowledgeable. So that fear is living inside of them. So they'll rather die and kill their brother than be competitive. Okay, which is the next point. The benefits of collaboration is this. Look, your audience and their audience together is what? A user base, right? They want us like this. Content creators represent fingers. Okay, platforms represents a fist. Okay, now when you create a paywall, right? A paywall. I'm not talking about Patreon. A paywall. Netflix makes 98% of their money through paid subscribers. Okay, when you connect your database with his database, because your network is your net worth, if you can convert it to a transaction, and that transaction is a paid subscription, you have the leverage, because content is king. Okay, so you have to start working with your brother. Okay, because big brother will never allow you to be big brother. He's going to keep you little brother. And little brother is always going to have your house, which is a dog house, in his backyard. That's why they say never build your house in the next man's backyard. The next man meaning the colonizer and oppressor, because your house will not be a mansion in that backyard. It will be a fucking dog house. And I'm tired of us living like animals.
No, that's real shit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're a very deep brother, very
you kind of went into the next question.
Very spiritually connected and everything like that. How did you fetch the knowledge base that you've given to yourself to be able to come and sit on a platform like this and give it out to the world?
Man, listen, is a pig pussy pork? Is a pig pussy pork?
No, real shit.
When a fish sees water, what does it do? When a bird is around air, what does it do?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So it's innate, right? Again, we talk about that neuromelanin. It lives inside of all of us. I got an 8th grade education, okay? I got a GED in prison. The furthest my education went is fucking 8th grade. I can quote Shakespeare. I know calculus. I've debated with people who go to MIT, go to Harvard, and fucking ran circles around them, and they couldn't understand, like, how the fuck is this dude so smart?
Yeah.
You know why? Because who are you? Who are you? Who are you, Wolf? Who are you? Who are you? You're the decimal creator. You created science. You created mathematics. We built the pyramids. The Wright brothers were not the fathers of aerodynamics. Ancient Kemet was.
Right.
Because Alexander the Fake, he found aerodynamics. He found tools.
Yeah.
He felt like seriously.
No, that's real shit.
Yeah, let's do it.
So when we understand the potential, this is why I talked about us creating a new language, right? Because what's gonna connect us? We need to upgrade. We need a language. We need our own language. When somebody comes in, that lady walked in here, I don't know if she was Filipino, Korean, whatever, but they have a language. They have Mandarin, they have Cantonese. We need a language that unifies us. And we need to upgrade the hieroglyphics. You see? And then now we have something that connects us through language. That's how we build. Okay? So to answer your question, I stopped looking out the window and I started looking in the mirror. I stopped looking out the window and I started looking in the mirror. I was forced to. I was in prison. I was in Southport box. I gave up on life. I quit. I cut 2 motherfuckers. I'm doing 2 years in the hole. I'm sitting there. I'm laying on the floor going crazy. Police taking me to the box. They smack me. Nigga, smack me. What? I'm fighting with the police. Now they pissing in my food. I'm going through crazy shit. I'm laying on the floor, butt naked, looking at this. Listen. In Southport box, right? The bed is like this big. They put you in a fucked up cell. The metal on the bed is fucked up, so you can't really sleep on the bed. It ain't no cover. Yeah. The light is on 24 hours. The top of the bed is the toilet. The tip of the bed is the shower, which you only get 30 seconds 2 times a week. So this is my life. They got me on a loaf where you got this water and this 1 piece of cabbage. You see? They turn my toilet off, so when I shit, that I can't
It's just
flush
piling
it.
up.
It's just piling
I'm
up.
going through this psychological. What's what I'm going through? I'm fucked. I'm going through it. Right? And right on the brink of death, I came to myself. Because who you was has to die in order for who you really are to take existence. Mm-hmm. So when I died and I rose again like a phoenix, I came back like Jesus Christ on the third day, right? I'm like, oh shit, I'm strong. Wait a minute, I'm not dead. I can't die. No. And then I started to build. And I started to remember these things. I started to remember, right? My ancestors, all that, none of that stuff is lost.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it can sound crazy if you're not in tune, right? None of that stuff is lost. Our subconscious mind is so powerful.
Do you feel like you had like a social awakening?
Physiological. What's that word? Sorry.
Physiological
awakening. Yeah, right? Because they say pressure, makes diamonds.
Yeah.
So that tremendous pressure I was on, it activated my neuromelanin, right? Like it activated. You ever see like Spawn? Like or Venom, like
you respawn.
You throw something at the suit. That's why the suit is black. Yeah. I don't know if you realize that. You ever see Spawn? The suit on Spawn that represents the neuromelanin. The suit on Venom is black.
The symbiote.
That's the neuromelanin, bro. They try to. It's some space. Ain't no alien shit. We got that in our DNA. So when you keep putting us under this tremendous pressure, the neuromelanin activates.
Do you think the tremendous pressure is needed? Or...
Yes, it has. Yes, this is.
No, but I'm saying, could you get to that point without going through these extreme circumstances?
No, because it's too much. It's too much. Contradictory content out there, right? So the slave masters. This is wild. You look at the Haitian Revolution. You look at like Nat Turner and stuff like that, right? Like our people, we started to wake up. So the white man said, "Oh, we can't beat them like this. We got to get them to beat themselves. We can't kill Superman. The colonizer is Lex Luger. We're Superman." Right? So he had to go get the dude General Zard. He had to go to Krypton to get another because we can't, if it's no enemy on the inside, no enemy on the outside could do us any harm. So we've been tricked to have a diet that lowers our vibration. We've been tricked to accept a language that lowers our vibration. We've been tricked to accept a lifestyle that lowers our vibration, that makes us vulnerable enough for the white supremacist, that makes us vulnerable enough for the colonizer to attack us and kill us.
Yeah.
You understand?
That's kind of where you was going at with the social media shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. Oh,
yeah, like they've essentially like weaponized social media against us to the point where they don't really even have to do the work no more because we'll just internalize what they throw at us and we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like the reason people pull their phones out whenever they see some nonsense going on.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of calling for help
or
yeah, it's just
right, for sure. But again, to answer your question, like we've been through enough pressure already. So all you have to do is make.
But I also feel like we've been through enough pressure, but people kind of detach themselves from the realities of those pressures. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right, for sure. But that's why you need content like this.
Right, you need these people
to kind of give you the context, right? Like how you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. When you get one negative thought, you have to replace it with 100 positive thoughts. You have to micromanage your thought processes.
Indeed.
It's almost like Street Fighter. If you ever watched that movie, what they did with Blanca, they had to program his mind, like reprogram his mind.
For sure.
Yeah, that shit is real.
For sure, right? So we can reprogram our minds through repetitive thought. That's why mantras are so important.
Yeah.
Right? Mantras are so important. I'm happy, I'm blessed, I'm loved. I'm happy, I'm blessed, I'm loved. I'm the original man. I got this. I'm good.
Nah, that's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of what you're speaking to is a conversation that kind of got brought to us maybe like a week ago. We was at dinner with a friend of ours.
Shout out Kev Hardy.
He was speaking about being like mission driven and understanding like what your mission is, and everything that you do in your life and your business connects and surrounds your mission, to where it's like even if he's somewhere and a business opportunity comes up, or I'm somewhere and a business opportunity comes up, he's somewhere, we all understand what the mission is, and we don't do nothing that distracts or takes away from where we're trying to get to and our ultimate goal and what our mission is.
But it's only one mission for us.
As a people.
Yeah. To revitalize our communities, to create and build institutions, to create companies, our own schools, import, export, right? Our own hospitals, our own supermarkets, our own police departments, our own government, our own form of currency. We have to create our own blockchain. Everybody wants to get drunk on Bitcoin and crypto. Fuck that. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Those are farms that don't produce any crop. Okay, so we have to create our own blockchains. We have to create our own technology. We have to have a better, more improved relationship with computer science, also neuroscience, right?
Indeed.
So there's only one mission, and this is why it's tough for us to progress as a whole, because again, they got us like this.
Yeah.
But everybody else is like this.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you trying to smack. You trying to, hey, get off me. What he say, baby?
They punching the shit out of us.
Slapping the shit out of them.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So what we got to understand is it's one singular focus.
Yeah.
Right? And there's multiple, there's a multitude, and the categories are multifaceted, right? There's many diverse categories that all are conducive to that one singular focus of us, building our own utopia and empowering ourselves and becoming finally a melanated superpower.
Yeah.
That can rival Russia, China, or the US.
Do you consider yourself any form of like Pan-Africanism or anything like that? I asked because we did an interview with Dr. Umar Johnson that really traveled, went viral.
Come on in, we almost done, man. Come on, y'all. Come on in, we almost done. We know that. Come on, man. Come on, man. We almost finished, man.
I asked because a lot of your talking points as far as like
Piff. Which one's Piff?
Nah, he ain't here.
All right, cool. All right, shout him out.
Co-host.
Cool. All right,
Shout out
man.
to y'all.
peace,
Shout out to y'all,
fellas.
man. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank
Nice,
you for the,
nice.
Okay,
thank
cool,
you for the. So each one
Teach one podcast.
So the
Shout
real
out to
estate, I
y'all.
need to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, that's
Cameron,
real.
don't edit this out, man. Motherfuckers working together. All right. Yeah.
A lot of your talking points about like a united black agenda and stuff like
Yeah,
that
you
is the
sound
same
exactly
thing,
like Umar.
like to the letter, like
Right.
of the same type of things that he said, and that's so that's why I just kind of asked like the general question, like, do you consider yourself any form of like Pan-Africanist or just pro-black in general?
I think labels. I think labels open the door for division.
Okay, I like that.
I can respect that.
I like that.
So I think the focus should be on goals and deadlines, right? And we have to create an infrastructure, right, to meet all those needs. And a lot of times, what happens is Dr. Umar Johnson needs to be in this area, but because we're in so much desperate need of black leadership, you got Michael Jordan, playing the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the coach, referee, and all that.
Yeah.
And then there's so much criticism, because that brother receives a lot of criticism, but his thought process is in the right direction. So I stay away from titles, and I think we need to focus more on goals and deadlines. It takes about 2 to 3 years to meet a deadline.
Got it.
Right? So I love what Dr. Umar Johnson says, right? And I think we need to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
We need to get the ball rolling, and we have to set goals and deadlines and have a micro institution. You got micro and you got macro, right?
Indeed.
The micro is, okay, let me get this corner store. Okay, let me make sure every hood in the U.S. is 52 corner stores, right? Whoever's capable, this is why the internet is so powerful, right? Each one teach one. Each one teach one, motherfucker. Right?
Yeah.
So now we got our first goal is food. Let's say food. We need to get 52 grocery stores throughout the U.S. One fucking store in each hood.
Yeah.
You start there. That's the micro version of it. That'll take you 90 days. You see?
Yeah.
And that's the micro. But then the macro is the supermarket. You see? Now, the school. Listen, a school is as big as this room. Because a teacher, the square footage is not the real estate, right? It's the educator.
Right.
Right?
Indeed.
So a great educator can make this room 50 million square feet. And the internet keeps increasing the square footage, right? So you say, okay, before we get to the macro, which is the school, let's get the micro, okay? And let's consistently deliver this information. That's what it's about, okay? And you brothers came in on telling what I said. Content creators represent fingers, right? They want us like this so they can break the finger. But if we become like this, right? Like this is the platform. Okay, a platform which means a streaming service, which gets me to this next point because I know we pressed for time, so let me try to speed up. We have to create content calendars. Okay? First thing, you need a reinforcement calendar. Your reinforcement calendar is the shit that motivates you. Okay? You have to have a specific type of motivation assigned for every hour in your day so you consistently maintain high levels of productivity. That's your reinforcement calendar.
We just talked
We literally had this conversation driving up here.
Then you need accountability partners. You need accountability partners, people who have access to your reinforcement calendar, who can deliver the content to you at a specific time so you can be motivated while you're working and producing. That's the content calendar. That's the reinforcement calendar and accountability partner. Then your content calendar. You need a calendar for all the content you create from Monday to Sunday. You have to timeline it. You have to be very intentional and very clear with what you're creating. Then the last thing is the revenue calendar, the financial goals you set for the content you create. So if you guys are on YouTube, you guys are making podcasts, right? Radio and podcast is kicking radio's ass, right?
Destroying it.
Right.
Beating it over the head.
But however,
radio got the revenue stream.
Radio only has the revenue. Radio only has. Shout out to Wolf for the mic check. For the mic check. For the mic check.
Keeping us all in line.
Hold on. Wolf on point. Yeah. So radio. Their revenue stream is advertisement. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what happens is this. If you got a video, this interview is going to be about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, right? So you got 45 minutes, right, of advertisement real estate. Okay? You run an ad every 2 minutes. Okay? Every 2 minutes. Them
all off on YouTube.
every 2 minutes, you run an in-video ad so the content is not disrupted. Mm-hmm. So when you you can curate and orchestrate the promo. Man, I'm thirsty right now. You got some smart water bottles in here? We got kombucha. You got what? Kombucha. You see? That's the form of it.
Yeah.
We just promoted 2 brands.
Right.
You see?
No, that's real.
So every 2 minutes, that's a check. So that is $35. That's $35. So now what you do is you set your ad revenue goals between $10, 10, 25, 50, 75, 100, and 500. Your most expensive ads is going to be on top of the video, which is the interruption, which is the beginning of the beginning of the content, the middle of the content, and then the end. Yeah. That's $1,500. Yeah,
pre-roll, mid-roll, post-roll.
Yeah, right. So that's $1,500 that you're making off of one video. Now, that is the structure. How do you get to soliciting the ad space? You have to have an ad team. Hey, how you doing? My name is John from the Real Podcast.
This the exact shit we was talking
about.
We literally had this
hey, man, let me tell you something, man. Hey, let me tell you something, man. Yo, we got some thirsty motherfuckers that watch our TV show, man. And I hear your water is very hydrating, man. Listen, let me tell you something, buddy. You guys need to advertise with us. Listen, throw out the $50K you're paying Comcast. We'll take $50. Really? Yeah. Hey, how you doing? It's your boy Raekwon from Each One Teach One podcast. Listen, man. I got a guy, a sound guy. He has some fucking hair on him. Okay, I mean his eyebrows needs do-rags. Okay, listen, that argan oil and castor oil you have, I think you need to get with us, man, because our audience is very in tune with their fucking hair. Okay, now you're reaching out to the company, and then you got to scale it. You start from the ground level. You make cold calls. Okay, you make cold calls, and then you set ad revenue goals for the content that you create.
Indeed.
And then now this is how we're not relying on YouTube. Now we're not relying on YouTube to pay us pennies when we should be making millions.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's real.
God damn.
Yeah. No, we literally driving up and we were having a whole conversation about just employing people and doing different things and, taking it upon ourselves to do a lot of things because we've gotten into that space now where we have a lot going on. And at times it do be a bit overwhelming.
So overwhelming. And again, this is why I'm doing a no labels tour, right? The no labels tour, we're teaching content creators the science of self-reliance. See, clarity decreases confusion, okay? Clarity decreases confusion, and delegation is the key to elevation, okay? Because you have to adequately delegate responsibilities. You can't delegate responsibilities if you don't know how to delegate or who to delegate or why you even delegating to fucking begin with.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's real.
Nah, man, this has been a master class, a condensed one, but
A condensed
master class nonetheless. We done created a whole audience around it because everybody want to be here and catch
Oh, we good? We good? What he said?
Okay. You want to do rapid fire?
Yeah.
Let's get into that and we'll come back to some other stuff.
Yeah, because I had some super duper topics we wanted to get into. I think everybody's enjoying it at this point. We're about to have a joint podcast in a second.
But let's keep this shit, you know what I mean?
So real quick, rapid fire, I just want to throw some words, some names at you. Let us know the first thing that comes to your mind, good or bad. Jay-Z.
OPM. Other people's money.
Other people's money. Puff Daddy.
OPE. Other people's energy.
BIG. Notorious.
It's a tough one. I got a couple things. We're big.
Say whatever you got to say, brother.
I think, ignorant iconoclastic.
You dug deep down there for that one.
I kind of want to know why. I know we said we're going to rapid fire. I kind of want to know why.
Yeah, I mean, you got some people who I think they're unaware of how how great they really are. They're unaware of it, and a lot of people, middlemen, monetize that unawareness, right?
Yeah.
And then through that monetization of that unawareness, they create a false value position in the eyes of that ignorant iconoclast. And I think Big was very much unaware of how great he was. He sung too. He could really sing.
I say it all the time. When you
He can
really
do every
go back
style of rap.
to Life After Death, to
but
me,
he could sing, though.
he did everything.
He could sing, like
Yeah,
really, like
for sure.
oh, he could sing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Like
that's,
Big did Player Hater. That was technically like
Yeah.
first time we heard a rapper sing.
Tupac.
Unapologetic Rage.
Suge Knight.
Conqueror.
Say it one more time.
Conqueror.
Conqueror. Kanye West.
Weak.
Kyrie Irving.
Weak. And the reason why I say Kanye West is weak, two things. I'm gonna touch on both of them.
Yeah.
So, because at the end of the day, you got perception and you got reality, right? You got perception and you got reality. So he talked about creating. We don't have no black fashion houses, right? So if you design, right, like logo is promo, cutting soles where you get the dough, right? Mm-hmm. So to build a fashion house is very simple. You get a brownstone. Remember, everything with us has to be micro before it's macro.
Indeed.
Okay, because we don't have the luxury of a false head start. Mm-hmm. Every other culture has a head start.
Right.
So a lot of times we're competing with the macro when we haven't even mastered micro. Right. So now a micro fashion house is a brownstone, right? Brownstone, three or four floors.
And
an
atelier.
So if you look at Kanye West's car collection, right? 2 of those cars is a down payment on a fashion house. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now a Juki, a Serger, and a Singer. Juki's handle like leather, denim, right? A Serger handles like the ridges and stuff like that. A Singer helps cotton and shit like that, right? So a Juki, a Singer, and a Serger is under $2,000 for that setup, right? So if you look at 10 of those, Kanye could have spent $40,000 in equipment, then went to FIT, went to small fashion schools, and gave those kids internships and could have created almost like free educational labor that can rival an actual sweatshop, and we would have been in power with our own fashion house. Then he could have went to Africa and built relationships with mills, right? Or even in India, right? And created this whole system that he said he was trying to do without the backlash, without the coonery, right? So I think these people are not really, for us, and they're not knowledgeable, and it's cliche, but most of them sold their soul. So when you sell your soul, you're bound by magic. So there's unwritten limitations within that contract of selling your soul that you can't even move past, right? So fuck Kanye for that. Kyrie Irving, he should have left the NBA, right? So if this is hey, right? I felt like
we got
because again,
right on.
but again, let me break down the science.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, it's like this, right? The people who call themselves Jews, what they did was they tried to make a religion a race. Okay, they tried to make a religion a race. And then Moses, they followed the teachings of Moses. So the people you see that as so-called Jews, they're not even fucking Jewish. They tried to make a race, a religion. Okay, and Hitler and the people that he had in the concentration camps, they were related. And the problem was Hitler had an issue with his brothers. Think of it like this. You got a brother. So Cain and Abel, right? So Cain lives in Queens, right? And Abel lives in Harlem, right? And the guy in Queens is struggling. He's hurting bad, right? And then the brother in Harlem, he gets the connect. The connect is Moses, right? Moses starts fronting him with the bricks, the information. He comes up. Now he's building. Mind you, Cain and Abel, they're brothers. So now the brother in Harlem is thriving. The brother in Queens is struggling bad. So the brother from Harlem comes to Queens and he's balling. He pulling up, showing love, thinking his brother gonna be happy for him. His brother is mad.
Take him off.
Kills his own brother.
Take him off.
Kills his own brother. Right? But we wouldn't be knowledgeable because we never read Mein Kampf, which is Hitler's book, My Struggle.
Right, yeah.
You've been conditioned to view him as an enemy, but you don't really know the charges. You don't really understand the level. So I think with Kyrie Irving, he's a sucker because he succumbed to the pressure. Okay? Again, we are who we are, wherever we are. And when you understand the importance of that and perpetuating and projecting that message, you cannot fold because they didn't. So that's why what you brothers are doing with each one teach one is so important, but you have to make sure that you're teaching with the right original information and it's not watered down because you fear persecution, but you can only be persecuted if you don't have ownership. You can only be limited if you don't have ownership, right? And the first thing you have to own is your thoughts.
That's real.
Because how you think creates how you feel becomes an emotion, that emotion becomes a vibration, that vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. We already rich. It's time for dual citizenship, baby. Okay? America is not a home, it's a hotel. Africa is home. America is the hotel. It's just a place of business where the transactions go down. And we don't get any power because we don't have an adequate, proper vested interest in America.
Right.
We're not even doing import-export business. This is what Marcus Garvey, the great Marcus Garvey, this is what he was talking about. And we haven't picked up from where he left off. We still talking about let my people go, Black Lives Matter. It's not about that. It's not about that.
It's not about that.
So you're never gonna win because that's not so America unless you keep fighting that fight thinking you're winning, but you're not. It's like a fish is not gonna climb up a tree. A fish will never get to the top. A fish ain't gonna climb a tree. White man gonna let you put all the trees in the water you want. Go ahead, fish. Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? What you doing? Right? That you fighting the wrong battle. Right? And again, I'm not desensitized to our plight. However, there's a purpose for the plight, and the purpose of the plight is to distract us from what's really going on and our true purpose, which is building and using America as a place of business and not an actual home.
It's funny you say that because Chris Rock spoke on it. He was talking about how ridiculous Black Lives Matter shit got. Chris Rock was like, I live in a neighborhood where it's all white people. I'm the only black person in my neighborhood. And every house has a Black Lives Matter flag.
Except me.
Except for mine.
Right, for sure.
It's like,
For sure.
yeah, that shit
All right,
is
so
real.
let's get our last 3 points because I don't want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't want
yeah.
to overstay our welcome. The brothers been letting us rock.
He
you know
waving
what I
it
mean?
off. He clear.
Four more.
Yeah, we-
Okay, so let me say the next thing, right? Each One Teach One podcast, the realest podcast, is more important than Chris Rock. It's more important than Kevin Hart. We have to stop saluting people because they have celebrity. Because celebrity is just nothing more than marketing dollars.
Yeah, sure.
We need more than
Indeed.
fucking turkey giveaways and shit in the fucking
Yeah, no
hood.
more symbolism. We need real
Shout out
action.
Kyrie. Kyrie said
Right.
that last year. The turkey
Right.
giveaway is just
Right.
the most ridiculous shit
Kyrie
ever.
who?
Oh, no, our homie Kyrie.
Oh, good.
Kyrie.
good.
He said, Kyrie, stop this motherfucker.
Because what we have to do is we have to realize that the actual price tag for revolution is affordable. It's within our budget, right? The actual price tag for reparation is within our budget. We have it. We have the resources. We have the money. We have the technology. Now we have to have the mentality to match the technology. We have to have the mentality to match the opportunity. We have to have the unity to match the opportunity. Right? Everybody that comes and sits on this couch, that gets be in front of this camera and the ones behind the camera, you have to connect. You have to connect. Right? No more this. You feel me?
Yeah, we need that closed fist.
Right.
You want to run off a couple more on
Yeah, a
these?
couple more. Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, thing that pops off?
Yeah.
A dedicated sellout. You know what I mean?
Kevin Gates.
Emotionally distraught. I think he has a lot of trauma, and he says that. I'm not here to break none of my brothers down.
Right.
But yeah, I think he battles with a lot of emotional demons and stuff like that. And Mayweather, I think he's very focused in terms of like boxing and the skill set, but like life and our people, it's like, what the fuck? You know
It's
what
a
I'm
huge
saying?
disconnect.
Yeah, because again, we have to understand, and we have a responsibility to our own. That's the issue. Because people say all the time, "Oh, I don't got to do this." You're only here because of my dollars. So if Jay-Z walked into this room right now, I'm talking the same way.
Right.
I'm not, bro. Like, I bought Rockaway. I bought them albums. So because I gave you my money, you're my God. Do you think that the Habibi at the fucking corner store, when you get your chopped cheese, is your God because you bought a sandwich? Fuck out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
Get fuck out of here. You ain't, yo, dude, if I stop buying chopped cheese, you go out of fucking business. You gonna respect me. And man, it's not God. And I'm not even giving kudos and props to motherfuckers who don't do shit. What do Marcy look like? Everybody want to dick ride Jay-Z. Marcy looks like shit right now. Jewish people own that whole fucking area. And you know why? You know why we lack in the area of community revitalization? Because we don't have contractor companies.
Yeah.
We don't have our own contractor companies. That's why our hood looks like shit. We have to have our own contractor companies. So before you talk about Jay-Z this and Jay-Z that, how many contractor companies are you creating and putting in the fucking hood? Because you're creating jobs, but you're also building up the hood, right? But I got to learn a trade now. But didn't they take trades out of school?
Completely took them out of school.
What happened to electricity? What happened to plumbing? What happened to wood shop? What happened to it? What happened to it? What happened to glasses and optometry, right? Like it's a big money in that.
Yeah.
Prescription glasses and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So they removed the trades out of the schools. They removed the specific skill set needed for us to revitalize our community, only to turn around and say we don't give a fuck about our community, but we don't have the skill acquisition relevant to developing community.
Yeah.
And the ones who have the money to actually create and build the platforms are not investing in those sectors.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about this. And you got a million motherfuckers standing on the corner trying to do a FanDuel fucking. So fuck, man.
Nigga got 19 legs on the front leg, just holding it down.
You know what I mean?
The sports betting shit is so omnipresent. It's right everywhere,
Right?
yo.
But because we don't understand job opportunity. We don't understand job creation. Right? It's so fucking important, right? That's why everybody watching this, when you get a chance, go Google occupational handbook. Go Google occupational handbook. It's over 100,000 job titles that you have access to as an American.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's over 100,000 job titles that you have access to. 10% of that will put you in a position to be the leader of your household. 10% of those job opportunities, right? And again, as men, we are the protectors, the providers, the maintainers, and sustainers of our household. But we get our ability to provide from God through provision. So they try to disconnect our relationship with God so we don't get provision. And if we don't get provision, we're not providers. See? So I'm not high-fiving any celebrity or entertainer who's not talking like this and providing financial opportunity in these areas, specifically contractor companies in the hood.
Two more. Stephen A. Smith.
I actually met Stephen A. Smith.
I met him too.
And listen, he gave me some really good advice, right? So the first thing that comes to mind is content creator. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You feel me?
Right. As a content creator, you gotta give it to me to turn it up.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely but I'm gonna say this last point though before I go. We gotta connect. I need y'all to connect me with Umar.
Indeed.
Yeah. I need y'all to connect me with him. And
I think y'all on the same screen.
That was gonna be my
lightening.
last name I was gonna talk, but finish with Stephen. We'll get to that.
Okay, yeah. So Stephen A. Smith. I actually met Stephen A. Smith. I had a meeting with Derrick Rose. Me and D Rose was chopping it up, and funny shit. And fucking Stephen A. Smith walked out the restaurant. Yeah, I was like, "Yo, man, let me ask you a question. I said, "Yo, listen, man, what was it about Kobe?" Because I had seen an interview that he did with Kobe, right? And what Stephen A. Smith told me about Kobe was afraid to not try. That's what he said that made Kobe different. And I was so blessed to be able to ask him that question because he was in front of that vibration. So I was able to pull some information from him, right? Yeah. So I was like, damn, yo, good looking. You know, like he was afraid to not try. So what do we have to try to do? We have to try to build community. We have to try to create institutions. We have to try to acquire technical skills. We have to try to network peer-to-peer, horizontal and not vertical. We have to try to compete with Goliath. We have to try to go from fingers to fist, right? And do it now and have a goal and a deadline for that actual try. And through consistent tries, because repetition is the mother of mastery, and every no will eventually turn into a yes, we get to where we need to be.
That's real. That was the last thing I was going to talk to was Dr. Umar.
That's it, man. I mean, last thing, motherless child is coming soon. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Every other week, you got a new man in the house. You got the nerve to point to him like he the man of the house. And they all want me to call him dad. They all wanted me to call him. I grew up confused. I got beat till I was black and blue. And you wonder why I'm in school acting a fool, cutting class, picking fights, couldn't follow the rule. Free lunch won't cut it. I'm still hungry. I need food. Hooked up with Daryl. Selling weed now, mama. I'm making moves. Yeah, mama, I'm making You put a pins warming out. Left me in the system, plus you ain't called back. They ain't love what you call that. If you ain't want a son, mama, shit, you should have left me in that ball sack. Two sides to the story, but I ain't having it. Too many demons inside I gotta battle with. Fuck whoever trying to play devil's advocate. Y'all don't understand how real this is? I was just a kid. I was only 5. Had to look my mama in the eyes, half sleep, half high. And you wonder why I'm outside smoking weed, pistol in my pocket, throwing up gang signs. You a junkie, mama. How you gonna demand respect? I guess you beat me cause I look like the man that left. I spit an image of my daddy, huh? That's why you slap me? Can nothing please you? You ain't never happy. Straight A's on my report cards getting ripped. Christmas, birthdays, I ain't get shit. Every man I see you with call you bitch. This is what I deal with. Yeah, this is what sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. It feels like God cursed me and my brothers. Cause all I do is suffer. And the pain came from my mother. A rose won't grow from this concrete. Tupac, you tripping, roots getting pulled out, pedals getting stepped on. You came home high, beat me half to death. You said that I slept wrong. Bloody tampons, empty bottles of liquor, cracked valves on the same bed I slept on. How the fuck could I sleep wrong? You got me laying on a bed I could barely even sleep on. Bottles on the floor, roaches on the wall. I'm looking at the sky like God, I deserve more. God gave me this talent, all I wanted was love. My father wanted to fuck, my mother thought it was love. But I'm a king, not a nigga, please, Lord. You make a miss when the trigger squeeze. I'm focused on becoming what I gotta be. Free.
Yo, feel this, man. Yeah, that's real.
Podcast. You know what I'm saying? I came late too, man. Shout out to y'all for having me, man.
He came late and dropped 40 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you.
Nigga did some time and shit.
Come here. He's not on the original roster. Yeah, he is right there.
You know how to create a player overtime.
Nah, we
Real quick. Hey.
We appreciate you coming through. We appreciate y'all for letting us rock.
Yeah, shout out to Each One Teach One
Shout out
podcast.
Each One Teach One podcast.
Listen, Each One Teach One gonna make sure they exchange. You know what I mean?
Ain't no doubt about that.
You got anything else you want to throw out there?
Hey, man, follow us on the gram at cdiddy.trpe.